right, y'all, what's happening? Welcome. It is Friday. It is PCE day, which the market has all but shrugged off. We haven't really moved too much in the past 5 hours. We have liquidity much lower on Bookmap, but I know better than to chase the downside on a Friday, baby. I know better. I was about to do something. What was I about to do? Oh, I know what I was about to do. Okay. One second. There we go. YouTube, there you go. Give out a free account. Maybe. I'm in a good mood. Maybe we'll do a 50 count today. We'll see. All right, so it is Friday. 6,500 is still there. They did not remove 6,500. In fact, it's even bigger than it was yesterday. So, crazy stuff. We have options right now are currently buying calls. We have obviously a very nice top wick to roll over to the tune of about 100 points on NASDAQ and about 18 points on ES. We're not talking about a massive red candle here. We're talking about a little bit of a European move down after Linda Raschke red dump in the last 10 minutes of yesterday's session. What does that mean for us? Buy the dip. Buy the dip. I'm still looking to buy the dip. Saw some really weird comments yesterday about shorting. I don't understand it. Everything is buy the dip higher, so why would you not want to continue the trend? Until we have a selling climax, which we did not have yesterday. Until we have a macro selling climax, buy the dip. So we'll see what happens today. Should be a fun day. Remember, it is a 3-day weekend. NASDAQ is coming back off. ES, RTY is rocket ships. ES is holding flat, 6,500. Probably not going to touch any ES today because it's just far too tight. Far too tight. NASDAQ is a little bit more opportunity. A little bit more opportunity. Let's look around the game here. In fact, I'm using my wrong charts. I'm using my wrong charts, people. What are you doing? There we go. Alrighty. We have CL is still range bound over the overnight session. Haven't taken out yesterday's highs or whatnot. Gold is rocket ships up to the overnight high of 3480. The Dow's rocket ships. RTY is coming up strong too. VIX right now is holding barely green, 1450. And I need to mute that again. I have to mute this indicator until it's set, unfortunately. Yep, I'm talking. That's a detriment for pet trespassers, you betcha. Especially federal trespassers. Rutgers versus Ohio was the one. Oh, nice. There were like 17 games, no big time games. They're just a lot of smaller D1 schools. What about D's schools? I'm long from a gold 34.72, target 34.82. Nice. So if you noticed, I posted, we've already talked about this, that Tuesday historically is a high probability red session. The open after the past 9 years has been a red candle, all except one. And even on the green candle, it was a heavy top wick. It just managed to close green the way the open was. So predominantly selling the Tuesday after Labor Day closures. We will see what happens with that. They are buying back all the puts they sold. We have a little bit of a move down lower here. We have overnight low down into 613 on NASDAQ. I wouldn't expect all that much today. Don't get too excited about a massive move. If we get a massive move today, cool, icing on the cake. But I would discourage you looking to play massive moves, especially massive moves to the downside, simply because the way things are chalked up here. You have to realize we have a long day coming on here. Who is going to hold swing put positions in this market over the next 3-day weekend with no real catalyst on the tape? Not really. You have to realize, I mean, these dudes want to enjoy their Hamptons. They want to enjoy their golf and their mega yachts without worrying about, hey, I'm stuck in a short position. I'm just kidding. They probably don't think like that. But you get the gist. There's not a lot of catalyst for any kind of real red over the weekend, the next 3 days. So I would probably say maybe a little red open here, defend the overnight lows, give me a 3C long opportunity, which I'm really looking for anyway, despite all the theories and newses and all this other nonsense. I'm just really looking for 3Cs, whatever. If it drops down to 610, you give me a 3C entry, I'm going to long it, and I'm going to hold it. Still, though, buy the dip. That's what I'm looking to do is the theme here. Long-winded diarrhea of the mouth theme. I love how you use so much logic when trading. I love it, Bruce Banner. Yeah. I love it. Appreciate you being here, buddy. In terms of tech, we have mostly red. NVIDIA is down 2%. Apple's down 0.1, Microsoft 0.4, Amazon 0.16, Meta's down 1. So yeah, good stuff. The X's are mixed red-green. There's no real outlier winner or loser today. The worst loser of the bunch is XLK, which is technology. They are down 0.78. Everything else is pretty well constrained within the bounds of normalcy. ES coming down 64.94, 6-point move lower. NASDAQ new pre-market low. What are we going to do, baby? What are we going to do? Put buying, call selling on the option chain here. They are defending overnight lows right here. Today is Friday, of course. We all knew that. We have Chicago PMI in 7 minutes. And then we have Michigan Consumer Sentiment, top of the hour. Atlanta Fed GDP, 11:30. We have multiple bottom wicks with volume into the overnight low. We'll see how that works. Is this going to give us the old typical 3C shakeout? Very quick out of the gate. Right here. Do you hear me, homeless Kodiak? If we play our cards right, hopefully we can you can become household Kodiak. $623 still coming down. ES bottom wicking and holding. Nasdaq is trying to bottom wick. This candle closure will give us a good indication of what they want to do. We're not inside my time frame. However, if I see something of confidence down in this area, I'll consider a light trade to kind of tiptoe into things. Anything but my system states anything before 945, it has to be small position size. I can't take any real risk between 945. So just bear with me with this. Once 945 occurs, because the reason being is that first 15-20 minutes, that's the manipulation phase, which is a lot of weird stuff happens. From there, I will look to put on some real risk. Yeah. Hey, red candles. So the puts, we just went from 450 million in purchased, and now they're down to 43 million in. Oh, I'm sorry, 450 million sold to now 62 million purchased, and they sold off all the calls there too. We have data in 6 minutes. Big red candles coming down. ES down to 64.93. SPX, keep your eye on SPX. They are defending a little bit from the 6,500 area here. Let me see where the trace exposure is on the zeros. Right now we have a little bit down to 70, 75 or so, but the main exposure is still 6,500. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Your internet went out? That's no good. Hey, big bottom wick with more volume. Big bottom wick with more volume. What happened to no Fridays? Oh, we came back on Fridays like 5 weeks ago. Where you been? Yeah, we started up no Fridays back in August 1st, first week of August. Generally, September is a red month. I'm observing the last couple of years. This also you can say, isn't it? Yeah, I would look to that, 100%. This is the time. This is usually the shift somewhere in this area to the bearish start. Late August, mid-August, September. This this little transition period. So it all the start time varies, but yeah, 100%. The bears keep attempting here, but they're bottom wicking the crap out of everything here. We'll see what happens with this candle. I definitely don't want to be sitting on the 1 minute. RTY's here. NASDAQ is 606. Supportive measures down into 65, or I'm sorry, resistance measures 6,500 on SPX. Yeah. Is there a difference in meaning between the high red volume and high green volume? Nope. Volume color does not matter at all on the volume. The price action will tell you what's actually occurring. It'll tell you buying versus selling. You don't need to worry about the red or green. In fact, I would encourage you to make all of your volume candles the same color to keep you from being confused. I would pick a non-red, non-green color, like purple, blue. Blue's nice. Hey, look. Big old bottom wick. Say it with me. Brought to you by the letter B for the bottom wick. Ha 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 ha. You jabronis. You jabronis. Brown and yellow's best. Can you do brown and yellow? That'd be great. That would be very weird. But yeah. You have blue and orange? Love it. That was my high school colors. Lots of good news in markets in terms of economic data, but that makes the USD stronger. Wouldn't that cause a weak market? You're using economic logic to apply to market theory, and it doesn't do that. Fundamentals only applies to long-term investing. The day-to-day stuff doesn't matter. CPI bullish bearish doesn't matter. FOMC bullish bearish doesn't matter. All that matters is what the market is currently positioned for, and is the news reaction expected or unexpected. If it's expected, status quo. If it's unexpected, you're going to get volatility, most likely to the downside. But it all depends on what the market's already priced for. So ES or Nasdaq just bottomed the living crap out of that candle, and then now they're giving it out. So if they give this out, we might have some shenanigans. We will see. We will see. Big old top wick. We have data in 2 minutes. Be ready. Be ready. What's Bookmap telling us? Bookmap has 6,500 on ES. Nasdaq. Ooh, what just happened? Nasdaq's coming down to 580. Now, I will say, I posted this morning. Let's see if he's still on there. Nope, he took him off. Never mind. I stand corrected. We had this cat down here, 23,280. It has been since removed. Now the skew is back up. Gold's doing its usually banana move. Heck yeah. Yeah, gold's going nuts. Silver is flat. I'm sorry, oil is flat. Silver is also flat on the 5-minute. Nasdaq is still holding 600. Let's see here. 15 minutes in, we are 30 seconds away from my first trade of the day here. Let's see what's going on. How's the volume hitting? So far, the volume keeps on hitting into low candles. Every single time they go low, we have a high volume spike. Wanted to buy the dip, but decided to wait. Now 3 mentions of gold this morning. The market is making fun of me. Yeah, love it. All right, what are we doing? Another bottom wick? What are we doing? 575 is liquidity lower. 583. What do they want to do with this candle? Let's see what the dealers can do here. Grab that 575 and we'll look for volume inflow. We still have data at the top of the hour. Here is yesterday's low right here, 572. Big level right here, 572. Let's see if we get a 3C. If not, we will be patient. So far, a pretty healthy red day. Five, 6, 7. 565, 563, back and forth. Yeah, that's a very, very small data point. The PCE was the big dog today. Market didn't care about it, and it came in as expected. It came in flat. So I mean, as long as these big data points come in as expected, then it ain't gonna be nothing. You might try to give 575 a scalp. Nice. First, we need 3 C's. We need the 3 C's. Otherwise, you're going to step in front of a freight train. We don't want to do that now, do we? Right now, this is a very, very aggressive downtrend. So far. 550. $543. Now they're putting on liquidity at 500. Well lower. Straight down so far. Don't catch a falling knife. 544. Next on target, we have 538. After that, it's going to be 5487. And below that, it's going to be 435. We have liquidity posting lower on Bookmap, 537 down to 512. Wait for volume, wait for the wicks, wait for the 3 C's. The 3 C's will keep you safe if you can be patient. It will keep you safe. Do you only trade NASDAQ? Negative. I trade anything S&P related, I trade SPX options. Right now, I've been focused on NASDAQ the past week or so, simply because the price action on ES has been so tight, it hasn't really been worth my time. I've been being very selective with my trades, taking very few trades, and trading on NASDAQ right here. So, yeah, we'll see. We will see. Biggest volume candle of the day right here on NASDAQ. With their very, very small bottom wick. Let it close. We have 2 minutes till it's closed, but that isn't the highest volume of the day right here. If they smoke this candle, I would start looking for 3-0 to 2-0. Look, they're going to smoke it. Coming down, 5-4-3. They're going to gulf it. Coming on down. Straight down, baby. Where were the microcycles at the end of the year? Health, Bio, Dow. I don't know. I have no idea. Man, they're still piling into this volume. I have no idea. Liquidity down to 460. We have more support right here, but still coming down. 100% on the Qs, early exit. Beautiful. Well done. What do you make of these 6 to 10, 50 lots that keep getting filled? It's just normal order flow. The only thing I really pay attention to on stuff like that is the big stuff. The big lots. I could care less about those small onesies, twosies, picking up stuff. Still going down, straight downtrend. This is a very aggressive trend. Very aggressive trend. We have no 3Cs yet. This is straight selling liquidation. Linda Raschke, so far, is leading us in the right direction. Yesterday we called for a red open, red morning. So far, I think we're definitely getting that. If you want to play the bounce, 3 criteria, baby. 3 criteria. Still dropping. Aggressive, aggressive red move. Remember, we talked about yesterday, playing the bounce, you want to catch the right side of the V, not the bottom of the V, not the left side of the V. You want to catch the right side of the V when it's on the upswing. That way you don't get blasted in the face by a gigantic shakeout red candle. Right here. Absolutely beautiful 3C entry this morning. Gold is in a solid uptrend and has been putting in these high volume upfills or bottom wick candles for rocketing 20 points or so. Beautiful. Finally stayed in long enough for 2 or 3 points. Stayed in longer than 2 or 4 points. Nice. Highest volume candle of the day so far. Egregious bottom wick. Can it hold though? Why would NASDAQ not move lower until after the big orders of 23,280 came off? Because the market doesn't work like that. I wish it did. It would make it a lot easier to read. It would make it a lot easier to read if it did work like that. All right, beautiful bottom wick with volume. Now, on the 5-minute, in terms of the 3Cs, this one, the third C, dealer's choice. Because, yes, we are over the prior close of 543. Some may want to wait until 600. That's a very large move to wait for on this type of candle because the 5-minute before was such a big candle. So, the closure obviously is going to give you a lot of confidence. We still have data in 8 minutes that can change things very quickly, but it'll be interesting regardless. Futures are technically open on Monday, but the market is not. I will not be here for a truncated futures open though, especially with this volatility being so tight. Bottom wick still going, 567, baby. Good stuff. Good stuff. So far, beautiful 40-point bottom wick with volume, the highest volume candle of the day. So once again, 3 C's rule king, baby. High volume inflow. Closure of the candle every single time. Every single time. High volume where on NASDAQ? Right here, the 945 candle on the 5-minute was the highest volume candle of the day. The bottom of that candle right into support. Look at that 587 liquid. Look at that 587 liquid. Right there, baby. They're going to draw that liquidity in. 6 minutes until data. They're going to draw that liquidity in, baby. $500 liquid, 587. I was on SPX by accident. That's all right. That's all right. Beautiful stuff, baby. Beautiful stuff. I apparently need to put in more disclaimers on my social media that I am not a play calling server, because I had yet someone else quit yesterday. Said that he was upset because he paid for a discussion Discord that likes to sit around and talk instead of trade, instead of a play calling server. I was like, huh. I was like, well, good luck finding a play calling server and losing money. Why would you want to go pay for losing money when you can just be here and learn how to trade? Tried to explain to him, but oh, here it comes. Here it comes. 587 liquidity, 730 orders on NASDAQ ES, down to 6470. It's so crazy that people don't want to actually learn. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. It's aggravating. But, you know, there's a reason why there's a 1%, you know, and why 99% are not there. Not to say that I'm 1%. I'm just... Red candles, baby. There you go. Data in 4 minutes. Liquidity up to 587. Sweep candle? Yeah. You missing this? Old me would have front ran that long. Well, we have data here. Let's see what happens with this data. Right now, this is a very strong downtrend. That was a beautiful 3C bounce. I mean, that was beautiful. Or I guess 2Cs. It depends how you look at it. 3Cs would have worked fine. But obviously, they're still sweeping this thing down. Look, it looks identical. That candle there and that candle there looks identical, but that one was high volume. Even called this today. Linda Raschke, baby. She led the way. 518. He's mad that you had discussed. No, he wants a play calling server where there's no discussion. You just literally post plays that I'm in, and that's it. And that is it. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. $500 coming on down. Let's go take a look at the option chain. We have 1.6 billion in puts, 200 million in calls, aggressive put buying on down. Looks like they have stacked 6435 on SPX. 6435. So after finally touching SPX 6500, they have now taken off everything at 6500 and stacked 6435. So 6500 exposure is gone now. It's zero. Zilch. Nada. Not there anymore. Closed. Day in 2 minutes. High volume inflow 1 minute right there. 6435 is another 30 points down. Highest volume candle of the day on the 1 minute. The 5 minute, not yet. Data in 1 minute. I'm watching that 587 closely if they spoof that. At 587 closely. Currently trading on my phone in the middle of Nashville traffic. Dumb idea. Just be careful. Just be careful. Don't do anything stupid. 518 on down. Liquidity lower. 3 C's. Do we have anything right here? 10 seconds. 10 seconds. There goes liquidity off the book to prepare for volatility. Large red, shake and bake, back and forth. Wick, 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 wick. What are they going to do? Five, two, two. NASDAQ down here at 524. Still no movement. So far. Watch out for polar bears. Heck yeah, man. Don't crash for the sake of a trade. I mean, I would like the occasional banana, especially in context with the 3C to confirm my own thesis, but I get why you don't. No, I mean, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. All I'm saying is that the intent of the server is not play calling. Hey, beautiful big bottom wick. Beautiful big bottom wick with volume. They did remove that upper liquidity. They did remove upper liquidity. But they gave us a beautiful, beautiful bottom wick. Options data, what are we doing? Still 6435. 1.8 billion in puts still. Right here. Little dumperino. 528. This will be a spicy candle if they fail it, and that should change the scope of the morning if they don't get a supportive bounce. So watch out here. 1.9 billion in puts. $2 billion in puts. Gold's still going. Lisa Cook, yeah. Bottom wick with volume. Heck yeah, baby. Here's the 1 minute chart. You see all the volume right now is still supportive, but it's just holding this 525 area. Holding 10-yard penalty. Still bull market. Put it back on at 550. Ooh, that guy's chasing to get out. This is the same look we had before the selling action we had on Wednesday. This is the same look. This constant chasing big liquidity to the upside for the buy side liquidity and then dump. So it looks a little sketcheroni here. It looks a little sketcheroni. It has the same look as Wednesday. 508 still top wicking. Yeah, let's do away with the political talk. Let's stick to trading. This is an important moment right here. No one cares about the Fed at the moment. 497 still rolling right here, dropping back over. We have support coming into 485, and then after that 433. Still straight down. Still straight down. $499. We have all this right here. This guy's chasing the big dog up at 811, but this is still marking down heavily. Still marking down. They smoked that level, so volatility increases into 500. Still dropping. Big time. The market is turning deeply red. Nvidia is down 4.5. Nvidia is down 489, or Nasdaq is down to 489 now. Strong, strong downtrend. Last time this happened, when was this? Last time was Wednesday. A whole bunch of people got wrecked trying to buy the dip, and then look what happened at 10 o'clock. The last shakeout and then the bottom wick, and we rocketed all day. And people are like, oh man, I already blew up on my accounts trying to play the dip, and now it bounces. So what I'm saying, my point is, don't try to catch a falling knife. If you want to play the downs, I can guarantee you they're going to give you a bounce, but you got to wait for it. You have to look for the major 3Cs and the confirmation. We have no confirmation yet. You could have scalped a couple of longs there, but the theme here is aggressively down. Don't be an idiot. DBAA. Still going down. 471 dropping. Massive, massive sell here to undo the green action. Coming on down to, was that Wednesday's pre-market right there? The Nvidia earnings low is what we're going down to here. Straight down, baby. Straight down. I've taken my first trade of the day. I couldn't really give you a lot of technical analysis other than putting on a small position size and setting a stop and trailing it until I'm in profit. I guess you could call that chasing. That's a fancy way to say chasing, but I don't really know where else to go here. So, watch SPX 6462 for a 6452 for a possible bounce. Right now, if I'm looking for a bounce, it would be at 6425, 6440. Ride the waterfall. Ride the snake. Nasdaq still getting drilled. There we go. All right, I'm locking in profit. It's a risky play, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it. Have a nice weekend, old man. you too, Radek. You too. Was looking for a short, but okay. A coin short? Yeah, going to be hands off. I'm curious if we can get a tolerancing. No, I mean, like I said, they're going to bottom like this, but most likely it'll be in 6430, 6440 area on SPX. And or if it doesn't, 3Cs, baby. 3Cs. Just wait for the 3Cs. That's okay. Remember, the whole theme here is that I am not looking to sell rips until we have a daily climax that leads us into markdown. Now, today could be it, but you can't bottom wick it. We can't have what we had on Wednesday. If we have what we had on Wednesday, where was it? Yeah, if we have what we had on Wednesday, August 20th, massive sell-off where everybody was looking, tell your grandparents to sell their bonds, everything's going to get wrecked, and then we bounce back up and hammer the candle. If they have that, no selling climax, and we're still buying the dip. But if they leave this thing dumped, then I will start looking to abandon the buy the dip strategies and purely sell the rips. So it's not about any one candle, it's about the general theme. Remember, you want to catch the second part of the V. The inverse V or the V, the second part is what I want to catch. The second part is what I want to catch. Still getting drilled. Bottom wick is about to get wrecked. And if they do that, it's going to keep on going, baby. Next target. That'll be next target. See what they can do. $466. Next target is going to be, man, we're down to 23,400. Yeah. Still coming down, baby. Still coming down. Still coming down. Told you all hedge. What does that mean? 464, big old bottom wick still. What are the 3 C's? The 3 C's are volume, wick, and then close. So in this example, this is a perfect example of, if you are someone looking for a bounce, very, very aggressive downtrend, kind of catch everybody off guard. If you are looking for a bounce, what you need is a high volume inflow. You need a bottom wick to show you that buyers are in fact defending the demand, defending the base. And then you need a close over a prior close, which in this case would be, 24,460 or so. You need the bullish close without any kind of top wick wreck over. So far, we keep getting bottom wicks, we keep getting high volume inflows, but they are smoking every single bottom wick. They're smoking every single green candle here, just going. So you've got to be very, very patient. Otherwise, you're going to get blasted in the face. If they fail this candle, which it looks like they may actually do that, heck, I don't know, dude. It's going to get bad if they fail this candle all the way down. We'll see. Here he goes. 400 maybe. Go for 400. 499. Let's go, baby. Give me 400. Give it 400. 451. That'll be another 50 points down from here. Option data right now is 2.1 billion in puts, 470 million in calls. Still going. Red is the best to trade. It's amazing. It's always fun. The red part's fun. It'll be very fun when the macro trend is down. For sure. My gut would be 64.15 would be on point. Guess my future self didn't take the day off. Heck yeah. Here he goes. Still dropping. Every single bottom wick is aggressively rolled. Look at this. Look at the hourly candle just getting wrecked. And now we're coming off again. Beautiful stuff. 23,437 down into NVIDIA lows. Do we have any 3C volume whatsoever? Straight down, baby. Straight down. We are now at NVIDIA lows where everyone tried to short the position and got shaken out right here. And it's still coming off 438 right here. Crazy stuff, dude. Crazy stuff. They just took out the next low. 437 straight down. $441. CVD is 3,500. Make sure you lock in positions. Don't let things ride. Lock in positions. Eventually, they are going to smoke the chasers. So you have to be ready for it. I don't know when that's going to come, but you have to realize eventually they are going to absolutely blast the shorts in the face here. The people that are chasing the bottom side of this move. So you got to be ready for it. 450. Let's see when they're going to take it. Nice little bottom wick so far. Gold's been doing really well. I'm surprised today. Yeah. Oh, it gave me tingles for a nice buy the dip moment when things got stopped heading down. Yeah, buddy. They're going to do it eventually, but you just got to be ready. So, I mean, what I'm saying is, like, even I'm short here. So you have to be, all I'm saying is you lock in profits, because eventually they're going to catch the people trying to short this, and they're going to blast it. So what I'm saying is don't leave a 50, 60 point stop loss on your short positions, because they're going to blast it eventually. And it's going to happen very quickly, and people are going to be like, oh, whoa, they're the 3 C's, blah, blah, blah. So just lock in your profits and let it ride. That's it. Let it ride. Let it ride, baby. SPX 64.53. We are 10 points away from their baseline support. I bet you they bounce it there. 2.4 billion in puts. SPX is coming down. We have 6435. 6435 on down. Blah, blah, blah. September 5th jobs data give us temporary bottom to 535. Beautiful. All right, another red candle still coming down. Roll your stops. Every time the price action takes out a prior wick, you roll your stops down. A prior structure. Don't let it recapture. So far, it hasn't recaptured a single upward structure yet. Not one. Every single candle is lower, lower. Every single candle lower, lower. If they bottom wick this candle, I'm going to be a little sus of it continuing lower. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Still dropping. 400 coming on down. Coming on down, baby. NVIDIA looks like a bear flag, but buyers keep defending. Yeah, they're holding up NVIDIA. Yeah. NASDAQ and the indices are still straight down. Yeah, VIX is up 10% to 1580. NASDAQ, just new low of the day, still coming down. Right side of the V. That's what I can tell you. Right side of the V. What's the 15-minute look like? The right side of the V, people. Trying to shake out here. Can they grab a little bit? There's a nice little beautiful bottom wick right there. Beautiful. Beautiful bottom wick. I got to quit ruining my opportunities for bangers by getting too far in the red early on. Well, think about it. Think about it. I just stopped out of my short, by the way, so I'm back to flat. So think about it. The longer you wait, all you have to do, like even right now, I am still not really crazy about shorting. I took one on air, small position size, did a little chasing, whatever, man. But the overwhelming majority of what I'm doing here is waiting for the bounce. I don't care if I'm wrong and if this slides all day long. I've been telling you all since June, I'm going to continue to look to buy the dip until the macro conditions support a selling climax. I haven't deviated from that once. Buy the dip until the market stops buying the dip. And if I'm wrong today, cool. Then I know it's time to start selling the rips. So I'm not going to sit here and try to long until I have an overwhelmingly 3C criteria to get this thing back up. Because I know if when they do bottom wicket, it provides a phenomenal opportunity and a low risk, low stress opportunity. Because once they apply the gas pedal to the short positions, it flies. So there ain't nothing wrong with sitting here doing nothing. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, if we're in a very strong downtrend, if like, holy crap, we've been selling for weeks, I don't really recommend looking to try to buy every dip. And that's what we're going to change when it does happen. But right now, just be patient. Just be patient. I'm back to flat. I've got all the time in the world. I'm chillaxing, chilling like a villain. We're good to go, homie. We're good to go. Time to go home there, ball. Another bottom wick. I have more days be red trading in pre-market instead of waiting. Yeah. What do we think of a close over 475? That would be beautiful. Look, here it comes. Right to that 500 area. $3C short on gold. Beautiful. Beautiful. So what I need to do, look at that. All that supportive structure right there. And all those bottom wicks. They did not fill that liquidity that was sitting at 500. It was removed before it got there. So that guy's playing games. He's doing a little Backstreet Boys. Grab the right side of the V, baby. Right side of the V. $488 still going. They're going to rip some faces off here. They're going to rip some faces off here. $595 still going. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. That's already a 70-point bounce. It's already a 70-point bounce. So next target structure is 490. You close out 490. You roll up your stop. So that's where you start looking for, all right, well, this is just more than a momentary bounce. Now they're going to start retracing some of this move, which, in my opinion, you'll will look for, what, roughly 550 or so on that move up, which is another 55 points higher. So once this 5-minute candle can close 490, you roll your stop up again. And up and up and up you go. And they're going to rip faces off. They're going to rip faces off. I called it 3 bottom wicks in a row as sus. That's not sus. It means you're learning, McGabagooley. It means you're going to tell the waiter, I will have the gabagoo. I will have the gabagoo. They are defending the NVIDIA earnings low here. NVIDIA earnings low. I snagged a call for Tuesday on that dip. Heck yeah, man. Can't hold 490. Can't hold 490 yet. It's not closed yet. We have 2 minutes till close. Which means you don't need to move stops yet. The 1 minute does not show 3C volume. Let's go take a look. I mean, yeah, it does. Right there. Support came in. Support for PBS can be provided by the federal government. The 1 minute shows support come in here at 450. So it doesn't have to be the exact candle. But look, I mean, it's obvious that the highest volume candle of the day hit right here at 450. And look what happened. No more downside. The second the volume hits, it arrests the descent. When I'm coming into landing, I want to apply just enough back pressure on the stick to bring the nose up to arrest the descent, which means my VVI, or my vertical acceleration, goes to 0, which means I am dead flat. That's what the market does. You provide a little back pressure on the stick, you flare, and the wheels kiss on the runway like a butterfly with sore feet, right here at 450. And now we start to climb back up. Once we take out 490, you roll your stop up. Or you could try to long every bottom wick you see, and you get blasted in the face by some dude that calls himself Bubba in prison. You going with your cornbread? Plunge protection team's still here. The plunge protection team is always here, always waiting in the shadows. Yes, please. Thank you. Oh, what just happened here? Quit playing games with my heart. Really? Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. If you're just now joining us here, we finally have a 3C long opportunity after a relentless downtrend. I took one short. Admittedly, wasn't the best technically sound trade, but it was small. I kept position size small. When you reduce confidence, you reduce your position size. Pour me something tall and strong. 482. Last night's Alaska Airlines pilot slapped the wheels under the tarmac with his landing. It was like a turd hitting a cheese grater. That ain't no good. That ain't no good. All right, failed at 490 right there. So no moving stops up there. And it should negate here in a second. You still think we go to 350 today and close? I still think we go to 350 and close August red. Well, the fact that there's no upside liquidity, the liquidity structure on Bookmap looks exactly the same as the continued dumps a couple of days ago. We have SPX has taken off all the 6,500 exposure and left on the 6,435 exposure. Right now, all signs point to down. So if this fails, which this setup is already broken down, that should stop out pretty much everything. That 6,435 now comes to play on SPX. NASDAQ, I don't know. Their book is pretty dang light. 400 would be a likely target. But then, let me look at all this stuff. We have natural support in this market. You see it right here. So if NASDAQ takes out this whole little area here of all these bottom wicks at 430, 440, then I'd say we'd probably come on down and we're going to test weekly low down here at 370, which is only from Tuesday, which will put us right down near your target. That would be the weekly low target. Y'all want to become terrified of flying? So me being a pilot myself, obviously, I like to watch pilot debriefing videos. We watched them a lot in flight school. So these videos I've watched pretty much all of them. It shows you how fallible pilots are, and that 99% of mistakes and why planes crash are simply because of a dumb little oversight and error on the pilot's behalf. Like 1% of aircraft crashes are because of the problems with the aircraft. It's because of pilot error. This plane crash I just posted, that one crashed because the pilots were arguing. They were having an eggplant measuring contest of who is a better pilot, and that's what happened. Killed 8 people. Anyway, yeah, just remember that next time you get on an aircraft. Or IQ test given for pilots? Not directly, no. But I mean, no. I'm from the military world, which is a lot different from the civilian world. In my opinion, I'm almost, I would almost think that it needs to be illegal to fly an aircraft without military training. Like the training areas are so different. When I left the military world and started flying civilian, I was astonished at the lack of attention to detail on the civilian side of things. It was the military beats into your brain. Details, 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 safety, safety, safety. The civilian world's like, oh, okay, you're good. Go fly. It's scary. It's scary. Anyway, we're holding down here at 470. They removed the liquidity up here at 500. That 3C. This is the problem. It appears they're trying to do some sort of double bottom. That's the hard part about longing here. But yeah, easy to get complacent when you have done it tens of thousands of times. Yeah. There's a profit factor in the civilian world, 100%. And that appears to be a double bottom. Did I see any UFOs? Never. I've never seen any UFOs. Apple catching some bids. What's the VIX doing here? The VIX is starting to top just a touch. ES is 6470, bottom wicking. Bottom wick galores. Interesting. Another bottom wick. This definitely looks like accumulation behavior, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Look at the gold chart. Good gosh. Wow. Phenomenal move. Straight up all day, baby. All day. Look at DXY. Getting wrecked. Blasting the DX. Man, it's under 100? When did that happen? I haven't looked at DXY in so long. Man, it's been under 100 for a while. Why haven't I talked about this? And the yen is popping. This is bad. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at DXY since probably 2024. I stopped looking at it because it was distracting me. It was biasing me. 52 is the level here on SPX, it seems. Of course, he can't confirm or deny if he's a UFO. My son-in-law's a crew chief on a Black Hawk. They had to shut down a helicopter once because a mechanic lost a wrench. Yep. If you lose something like that, you have to shut everything down because you don't know where you left it. You could have left it in the engine block. You could have left it in the gears. Doesn't matter. So you got to shut everything down until you find it. Even if it's like one small bolt, you lose it, you got to shut everything down. All bottom wicks here. The tilt on top step is 79% long. And now they're putting liquidity up higher. Look at that shift higher on liquidity, 650. Although I will say, I'm not really looking to shift to chase liquidity on the book. That can become a dangerous endeavor, chasing liquidity on the book. So I want to really stick to the price action. Although that is a beautiful, beautiful bottom wick. Beautiful, beautiful bottom wick. Price action is bullish now. So far, I mean, this looks like accumulation behavior, and I told y'all they are going to rip faces off. And I do not want to say I told you so. I don't want to say it. If I have to say I tell you so, I'm going to go create an AI-generated Trump speech of him saying, "I told you so. Don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it." You won't. You won't. $1 billion in calls purchased. They're starting to pile into some calls. So who's buying guacamole? Last night I had Greek food for the first time in I don't know how long. Terrible, terrible decision. And I don't mean good Greek food. I mean like the strip mall places that you get just like they hack it off the big old like tube of meat and they stick it on some weirdly yellow saffron rice that's covered in oil. Why would you do that? Because it was 9:45 at night, and my son's baseball game ran long, and we didn't have time, and I didn't have any meals prepped. So I was like, well, I don't want to eat. I'm definitely not eating fast food because that stuff's terrible. So I was like, the best option would be I'm just going to get some meat, put it on some rice, Greek food, get a little tabbouleh, get a little, maybe a falafel. That was a terrible idea. It was a terrible idea. Don't get me wrong, I love Greek food. There's a place near the base that the dude came here. He fled Iraq, came here, and brought his food with him. His cuisine. Opened up a restaurant. It's one of the best foods I like. It's amazing. I can't even talk. It's so amazing. Shawarma, rice. Oh man, I'll even go there in full uniform. 68% chance I'm going to get shanked in the face. Amazing. But those strip mall places, terrible. Absolutely awful. Just come to San Diego. Oh yeah. Hyperinflation's coming. Oh man. I hope you're not right, Lowen. I hope you're not right. Another bottom wick. They are accumulating the crap out of this stuff. Accumulating the crap out of this stuff. My old high school just won their first football game last night in 3 years. Holy crap. We have good Middle Eastern cuisine. Go to Detroit. They have great Iraqi food. Really? I heard Minnesota has some great Somali food. I didn't try that out. You're on a roll. What's up? I love Persian cuisine. I can't say I've ever had Persian. I mean, I may have, but I don't know if I've never directly known to have it. 6471 ES still holding. Nasdaq is 493. $1 billion in calls purchased, 2.1 billion in puts. They're not selling off the puts, but they are buying some calls. This dollar crush is getting scary. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you pointed that out because I literally haven't looked at it in a year. So, yeah, man, it's already 9:45. What's going on here? Time is flying. I will completely admit I have not played the downside great the past couple of weeks and I'm not apologizing for that. I'm just telling you because I'm not interested in playing the downside here. I'm interested to buy every dip the market can give me that's correlated with a 3C move. And then when the market shifts to macro distribution, I'm going to play the short side like it's nobody's business. But I promise you, if you're constantly looking for the short side, I guarantee you're taking short side losses, and it's not going to be as juicy when you finally catch the downside. If I sit here and wait and buy the dip, 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 and then finally the market rolls over and I short it, it's going to be so juicy and so sweet. And I'm here for it. Plus, I have heavy deadlifts today. I have heavy deadlifts today, so I have to keep my energy up. And thrusters after that. I'm doing deadlifts for my strength and thrusters for my workout. And I'm not going to be able to walk tomorrow. What time do I work out? Usually right after lunch. What I'll do is I sign off here. I go make lunch. I'll eat lunch at my desk, working on stuff, content, whatever, answering DMs. I'll continue to work on stuff as my food digests, and then I'll go work out when my food digests. That P&L watching, how you mentioned it this week or last week, it really is messing with me lately. Yeah, don't watch the P&L. Trade the setups. Don't chase your P&L. Here we go. Y'all are dangerously close from getting an AI-generated video of Trump. If this thing takes out 550, you're getting it. So just don't say I didn't warn you. Big, beautiful bottom wicks. Not damn. Lowen, you're going to be my DXY guy. Keep me updated on DXY. What does a day in the life typically look like for you? Having kids, business, working group at all? I'm a busy dude, man. I'm a busy dude. My kids are actually, we talked about this the other day. We can't even remember the last time the TV was on upstairs. Literally May since the last time we turned on the TV. It's just we're all busy, you know. We're an outside family, so you know we spend all our time outside. Now that we've added chickens, it's a little more busy. But what I typically do, I'm usually up between 4:15 and 4:45. I don't set any alarms. I just wake up, and my body usually every now and then at a blue moon I'll sleep till like 5:45. But normally I'm up 4:30, 4:45, somewhere in there. Wake up, get up, do my quiet time. I spend, you know, no one's up, wife's not up yet, so I do my quiet time. I do my Bible reading before I even touch the computer. Don't touch the computer, nothing, none of that. Don't touch my phone. Because I know once I turn on the computer, once I check my phone, especially if the market's moving, like everything else is done. That's it. I don't really do any fitness in the morning. I don't like morning fitness. If I have to, if I know if I have a busy schedule for the day, I'll do fitness in the morning, but I don't like it. Every now and then I'll go for a long walk on the property. And then once I'm done with all that, I'll go make coffee. Because usually about that time, the missus is getting up. I'll make coffee for me and her. And then that's when I come back to the computer and I'm working on any kind of number of content. I'm answering DMs. I'm doing affiliate stuff, whatever. And then I start getting to my charting analysis. I start planning for the day. I start looking at the news. I start looking at the pivots, all the stuff that comes with analysis. And then right about when that's over, you know, I'm having to get the kids ready. Got to get them off to school, get them fed. By the time I get back from dropping them off, it's 30 minutes, about usually right about 9 o'clock, 8:40, 8:50, 9 o'clock. And then I spend the next 30 minutes doing the SR levels, getting the stream set up, you know, getting the Streamlabs going, all the streaming stuff. And then that puts me in a market open, and market open brings me to here. So market open, I stream till I get off, and then from the time I sign off, go make lunch, come back, eat at my desk, digest. That usually takes about an hour and a half to do all that, digest, go work out. Normally, sometimes I'll push the workout till after the business close, and I'll take care of other stuff. But normally, and then I'll come back, check on the market, and then depending on the day, I'll either do content, or if I don't have any content to be done or anything with the business, I will work on anything other things that need to be done, like stuff around the farm, check in on the investment properties, which really is kind of hands off now because, I mean, I have good tenants. I don't have any problematic tenants right now. Yeah. And then after the market closes, it's kids, you know, go pick them up from school, get their workout in because I program their workout. Sometimes I'll do a workout with them too, second workout. Focus on dinner, sports, getting the kids to the sports, spending time with them, going in the garden, getting outside, doing some shooting, whichever. That's it. That's my day. Pretty much day in and day out. I don't like to use the word busy. My pastor did a sermon a long time ago on using the word busy. It's like when you talk to a typical American, when you go talk to your buddies, anyone, you meet someone, talking to someone you don't really know, but you're passing conversation like, hey, Bob, how you doing? What's going on? How you been doing? Oh, man, I'm just busy. So I think people use the word busy as like a badge of honor, and I think that's wrong. So every single moment of your day needs to be intentional, even if it's playing video games. All right, well, I'm going to play video games with intentionality. I'm going to block out 60 minutes of my day to do nothing but play Age of Empires or Call of Duty. But I'm not going to have this open-ended 6-month or 6-hour marathon at the expense of everything that needs to be done. So everything needs to be intentional. And simply just being busy and letting everything kind of go astray because you're quote unquote busy is not really a good thing. Not to mention it erodes your soul. It erodes your soul. Anyway, I don't mean to get existential on you. Everything needs to be intentional. We have great Haitian food. Really close. Oh my God. I have to pre-read y'all's comments. I say I've been doing the dad thing implies being busy. Yep. The thing is, most people are only busy because they're unorganized. If they were to organize their life, they wouldn't be as busy as they think. You know, I have 3 kids. I run a business. I have other investments in income streams. I have the wife to take care of, and I still have plenty of time to do things fun. It's just because I have programmed my life where I'm intentional. Not to say I don't make mistakes, but I think a lot of people are quote unquote busy because they are unorganized. Anyway, big red engulfing candle. 2.5 billion in puts. They're about to spike puts for the highest of the day, and they are struggling to keep things up here. $473. We'll see. We have a large red engulfing. We have whatever this candle is. Low volume, though. This is the midday chop here. You know, just it looks like they're just hollowing out the range for the day, the afternoon range going into the afternoon. We'll see what happens. I think it's safe to say we're in a downtrend. 100% we are. Yeah. And on their phone a lot. Yeah, I've noticed that too. You know, at the risk of going to sound like a boomer, I'll yeah, my thoughts on the phone are terrible. Especially like as much time as me and the missus spend at sporting events between gymnastics and football and softball and everything in baseball, every parent is glued to their phone the whole time. They're not even watching their kids play sports. They're glued to their phone. It's unfortunate. People are also tired, so they're less efficient during the day, but they're tired because of a lack of exercise. Yep, that too. Or Greek food. Or Greek food. I go struggle from that too. I feel like I don't get enough done and always feel like so much on my plate. Yeah. I get it. I get it. Is Bookmap froze? Hey, big red candle. Yep, 400 coming on down. I just choose to listen to YouTube stuff to get knowledge. The way I get things done. You can doom scrolling. Yeah, YouTube's fantastic, man. YouTube is my favorite tool. I love it. I've learned so much through YouTube. Heck, I built my chicken coop off of a video I saw on YouTube. Everything I learned from YouTube. Most feel I have to look busy all the time, otherwise we look down on being lazy. That's true. A little bit of red here. So we're still in a downtrend. The 3C worked out really nice. Really nice. But that time it appears to have come and gone. Maybe you won't get an AI-generated video. NVIDIA's 169 in the card soon. Just be safe, Frumple. Just be safe, buddy. A little bit of red. Did you end up taking a long here off the 3C bounce at 10.15? I did, yes. New low on RTY. RTY. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, RTY is coming off after they started out very strong. They've dumped. The Dow also. So pretty much everything that's supportive of the indexes are dumping. Gold, rocket ships, obviously, when you have that kind of move in the precious metals, things get a little spicy. What time frame do you look for the 3Cs on? I start out with the 5-minute, but I apply it to all categories. Do you have another chat going on? I have a Discord chat, yes. So I have a Discord server where members chat in and talk. Big red candles. ES, new low of the day. NASDAQ, not yet. NASDAQ, not yet. On down. $64.61. All right, here is a retest of that prior low on ES and NASDAQ. NASDAQ looks like it's about to do the same. If they take this area out, it's going to be interesting down to about 376. Like I said, we have another 15 points on SPX to hit that big old level. That level, I have to give caution. I would encourage you to place a very large audio alert at right here at 64.30 on SPX, because that is now the main structure. They put the 6,500 back on though, but 64.35, big level. Yeah, nice rainy days. Still coming off here. Red candles. Are they going to get the breakthrough here on NASDAQ? They're going to get it. Looks like it, doesn't it? They're going to get it. So far, they're bottom wicking. Let's see. ES, new low of the day. NASDAQ, not so much. This will be an interesting little point here. They're going to slap the chasers, looks like. Slap the chasers. 2.8 billion in puts, 496 million in calls. On down, 443. Beautiful bottom wick. What is that? Any volume? Nah, not really. ES is going lower. NASDAQ is still shifting lower. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they do, baby. 2.7 billion in puts. NASDAQ is holding nicely for now. Yeah. They're retesting that prior low, but they know this is like they know we know they know. So they know people are going to try to buy that double bounce here. So we'll see what they do. This will be an interesting little shakeout candle. 433. They're smoking it. Smoking a pancake. Big old red engulfing. See, they know people are trying to bounce it, so they're going to smoke it. Liquidity sweep it. Down we go. I can't listen today, but I just want to say following the 3Cs saved my tushy on that 1030 candle. I was waiting for the 15-minute close above the previous high for a long. Didn't happen, and here we are lower. Beautiful. That's the beautiful thing about the 3Cs, man. It does a great job of keeping you safe and getting you on solid entries. And all it is a pre-canned, quick way to identify price action with volume, period. That's it. It's a quick way for me to teach the layman how to trade market price action, auction theory. I love it. I appreciate y'all interacting with that. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. What are the 3Cs? The 3Cs are the method in which I enter or analyze the market. First C is volume, which is by far and large the most important of the 3Cs. Second one is price action, aka a wick. Third one is a movement over a prior close or under a prior close if you're looking for a short. There's a video on my YouTube channel. I encourage you to like and subscribe to the channel so you get notifications for all future content. But yeah. What's up, McGabagooley? Market is shaking people out in every direction. $64.35 SPX. That's 12 points away. It's month end. Yeah, buddy. It is month end. It is month end. 1L and break even, I guess. Risk off for the long weekend? I don't know. I think it's month end here. 3-day weekend. What's that screen in the upper left? That is Bookmap. That is a software that presents visual nature of the order flow, the order book, which I think every single person in here needs to be reading the order book, whether you use Bookmap or not. But Bookmap just presents it in a visual manner through a heat map. Look at all this structure down here, 64.55, 64.40, all down. They are defending the crap out of this 23,430 area. Got some stopping volume coming out of the 5-minute. Yeah, it does. 5-minute Cinco. I'm going to start calling it the Cinco instead of 5-minute. Looking forward to our Age of Empires tournament. It's going to be great. I'm going to get destroyed by one of you young jabronis, but still, it'll be fun. I am terrible at defending the fast rush. That is for sure. Checking in to see how y'all still hanging out with the stock market stuff. I tried an option again this week, and of course, overnight got smoked. Yep, swinging options is no bueno, man. We're doing great. The past 10 weeks, 9 weeks have been the easiest weeks of the year, in my opinion. I've been relentlessly buying the dip. It's been fantastic. And we've been doing that until we get ready to transition to a markdown event, which I think is imminent, whether it be today or next week. So it's been pretty great, man. It's been pretty low risk, easy, good stuff. When's the tournament? Ethan is the director of games of this games, so he's the games maker. I'll defer to him. The keymaster, if you will. Yes. There is no Ethan, only Zool. Hey, Topwick, NASDAQ. What would you do if I smoked all the longs? Would you get margin called by your broker? Um, 6455 NASDAQ, yes, right here. This appears to be absorption. This appears to be absorption. Right here. What are they going to do? $425 NASDAQ. Very slow, tight wiki action. ES Topwick 6440. We have liquidity down at 57. What time is it? It is top of the hours coming along here, so we'll see. They are defending this, like they know how important this level is. They're defending the crap out of it. And once that shifts into down gear, it's going to be spicy on the next move. It's going to be spicy. It's going to be spicy. Have I ever used Heiken Ashies? I personally don't like them. I've tested them out. I won't say that I've used them, but I've definitely tested them out and tried to implement them, and I did not like them. So, is the game free? If you have Xbox, it is, I believe. I messed up. I had 6 days profit from TPT, and today I blew my account by oversizing. Thinking of doing a reset. I have no problem with you. Was it a pro account? A TPT pro account? Obviously, yes. I mean, it's a stupid question. Okay. Have you taken a payout from it yet? All right. If you've taken 6 payouts, yeah, I would reset it. I don't mind. I like the concept of them allowing you to take a reset on a pro account. Here's my stipulation: only if you've taken a payout, which you've done very well. 2, you're done trading for the day. Reset it, fine. You're done trading today. That's my stipulation. I can't make you follow that rule, but that would be my recommendation. Third rule: for the love of God, learn from this mistake. We've had this conversation before. You can't let jabroniness infiltrate your system. Taking a loss is one thing. Getting destroyed is something is entirely altogether different. So that's my spiel. Don't make the same mistake twice. You've done fantastic. 6 payouts. You know what's better than the 6 payouts? 30 payouts over the course of 6 months. You've been enjoying the volume candles on the chart. Nice, King Wing. Good stuff. But hey, man, 6 payouts is fantastic. So congratulations, keep that up. But let's keep getting better. Get better every day, right? GBE. Get better every day. I'm just going to watch from now on. This ain't for me, but I'm always intrigued by those who play it. There you go. The difference between the VPA and 3Cs. The 3Cs is VPA. I've been, teaching VPA now. This is the 4th year. I've always looked for a way to teach the 3Cs in a way that's easily consumable. It's difficult because VPA is a very experience-driven system. It's not like I could say, all right, here's VPA, go trade it. You have to understand the concepts of volume and price action. So I came up with the 3Cs as a way to teach the volume price analysis that's easily consumable for the layman trader. And I think it's pretty good. I'm probably going to adapt it and change it and make it better as I think of stuff. But that's my way of teaching it. Trump video is uploading. Can I patent the 3Cs? I'm sure I could. 3C long, ES 1055. Let's see. Yes, absolutely. That's a long indication. NASDAQ is not as strong. You demand, homie. You demand, vampire. You demand. What do we got? Put selling's increasing? It is. It is. I'm almost tempted to put on like 2 micros and just hang it up. Say sayonara. Do you move your stop every 5 minutes? I move my stops based on the breach of market structure. So, for example, hold on a second. My cameras just went off. That's what she said. Sorry, the missus came by and said something. So if I'm looking to play the bounce here, and on 3C move, let's just say I am. I'm not in any position right now. As the market climbs and takes out higher structure, that's my trigger to go long. Now here's my thinking behind that. So let's say theoretically, if I could delete this, let's say, I don't know, that's my entry right there. High volume, movement over prior close in the trade, whatever. As this price action starts to climb and take out the prior pivots, I mean, it depends on how you really want to look at things. So right here, or right here would be even better. Although that's a big move. You're talking at that point 60 points. Do you want to risk 60 points of profit? It all depends on what you're trying to catch. It all depends on your described R&R. So let's just say the price action climbs and takes out this move right here. Once the price action climbs, closes this, that's my trigger to move my stop up from protective territory in the loss territory up to this area. So I would probably stop it somewhere in this area. That way, when the price action shakes and bakes and comes down, it's still using this support. And then it bounces and it goes back up. When it triggers higher, and there's some obvious little stuff here. This area, I would move my stop up again. And I'd say, all right, well, right there is my stop. So on and so forth. Reason being is because I want the market to be inherently protective of my position. You ever taken a trade and it instantly uses your position as the break even to go back in negative territory? Like if you're long, you ever take a position and it uses your entry as resistance to drop more? Like it comes back up, break even, comes back down. And it's like they're toying with you. It's like they're messing with you. It's a terrible, terrible feeling. Well, I want to do the opposite of that. I want the position to use my entry as the basis on which to stay profitable. And I do that through the process of identifying structure and manipulating my stops based on the capture of those structures. If I can take a trade and the market is using my entry as the hold point to stay green, then I know I've taken a good entry. I know I've soundly allowed the market to inherently protect my position. That's the whole point. I want the big dogs, the billions of dollars, to protect my little bitty one contract position. Kind of like the second grader using their high schooler brother as a bully, to protect him. The 3Cs concept is so easy, even people who hit their head a lot, like myself, can understand. I'm good to hear that. Glad to hear that. Good stuff. "4:30 p.m. today, Palmetto State is releasing their M14. It better be at a good price point." "3C is easy. Having the patience and discipline to not take anything else is the hard part." It is, 100%. Or knowing what to do when things go wrong. Just like any system, the 3Cs are going to fail. But a day like today, when the 3Cs break down, you have to make a decision on where to set your stop. And that's the hard part. That's the management part that I can't really teach. That's, I could tell you what I do and tell you some sound strategies, but you have to be in the seat when things are going against you, dealing with your own emotions. Oh my gosh. What's the watch tool going on right now? Let's see. We are now pricing in an 89.2% probability of a rate cut on September 17th FOMC. 89.2%. So with the three C's, identifying levels well needs to be a prerequisite skill. Yeah. So location, I didn't talk about this part. There's a fourth, I guess, fourth criteria. That's not a real criteria, it's a location. So the bigger the location, the more aggressive, one, the more aggressive volume I expect to see, and two, the quicker in the process I'm going to take an entry. I'm not necessarily going to wait for the third criteria to close if we're coming up on like a yearly low or a monthly low or something like that. So that the fourth C is going to determine my aggression level. How close we are to a location determines how aggressive I'm going to be buying the dip or selling the rip. One of the two. So yes, identifying those levels is definitely a prerequisite, and fortunately that's the easy part though. You know, I could teach a monkey how to identify where the S&P wants to bounce hard over and over and over again on the daily chart. So just spend time on the higher time frames, and you'll get good at that. 240, the 4-hour chart or up to the daily chart, you'll see these big pivots. And then if you throw in the volume profile will tell you at what price you're getting very large spikes in volume. We're getting a very big VIX move soon. I do agree with that, Lowen, 100%. 100%. Sweet. Awesome. I've been having an issue with my credit report. I had a $3,000 collection charge hit my credit report that was not accurate, and it dropped my credit rating from 820 down to 610. And I'm like, what the crap? And I finally got it off my credit report. My credit rating just shot back up. I just got a notification. My TransUnion says your credit score has been updated. Right back up, baby. Right back up. The credit report, man. It's a scam. It's a freaking scam. The amount of money that I make, my net worth, which is not it's not insane, but it's nice. And a $3,000 charge is gonna destroy my credit like that. Like if I were to have that, if I were to go to a bank and try to get a loan, they would deny me because of my credit rating, because of that stupid little charge. Pay your bills. I don't wanna. Stupid. They added as a score a few decades ago where it's just a credit history. Yeah. How'd you get it off? I had to file a dispute. So I tried to go. It was through Best Buy. I tried to go through Best Buy and say, hey man, this is not this is not a charge. This is not valid. And they're like, sorry, you're going to have to pay it before we even consider working with you. And then if it's accurate dispute, we'll refund the money. I was like, that's not how this works. Like, I'm not going to give you just money because you just happen to charge it, you shyster. So I filed a dispute with the credit agency, which I had to provide all my documentation. I had to provide credit statements and all this kind of stuff. And it took forever, and they were back and forth. And then finally, they agreed with it, and they took it off. So, heck yeah, man. Oh man, how often would you say the 3C coincides with Bookmap taking off, lower liquidity, and stacking it higher? Honestly, I couldn't say. I couldn't say. I would probably say pretty common, but I couldn't tell you for sure. It might be a scam, but I like getting the notification for Credit Karma saying my score is 120 points higher. Yeah. I paid off my car, 35-point drop. I buy a TV and put it on credit, score goes up. Student loans get, yep. It's dumb, man. It's completely idiotic. Is this the part where we'd start chopping until power hour? Mm-hmm. How'd you get it off your credit? I had to dispute it. I disputed it, yep. With the credit agencies. You can go to TransUnion or Experian, whichever ones, and there's a little dispute button. You dispute it, you have to go through the whole process of providing documentation. And, yeah. It's all idiotic, though. The old way of banking was the best. One of the banking. The old days, delinquency rates were lower than they were today. Yeah. IWM 1 minute reversal. IWM. That 1050 move was nice. On IWM, yeah. Department of Education basically hit me with the whoops, we messed up, and then added my student loans back last year. They added them back incorrectly for a lot of people. My score recovered 100 points. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's ridiculous. When I dispute it, I wait until after the closing report, and then I do it. It makes my credit jump by double what they were going to give me. There you go. Any final thoughts, questions here? We're going to start wrapping things up in the next 10, 15 minutes. I encourage you all, in these times, don't be one of those people. Don't believe the crap on X. If you see all this crap on X, like, I'm one of those traders, like, you know you're a trader when you're bummed for the weekend. You're excited for Mondays. No, you're full of crap. That tells me that you're an idiot and you haven't been trading long enough. I relish the 3-day weekends. I don't care if I've made 50 grand a day for 5 days in a row. Like, I relish my time away from the charts because this is very high analytical stuff. Like, we're in here doing analysis, my brain's working, I need a rest. So get away from the charts. Don't trade the Monday futures open, even if it is futures only. Just take a break. Enjoy your 3 days, go do something different except, look like a vampire with no skin in the sun and staring at the computer. I always leave 12% of my credit and pay off their due date. Yeah, nice. Yep. People have to know their closing date. Sometimes credit card companies hide it. Yeah, buddy. That's a great point. I know exactly the day that, because I do the same thing. We have a Southwest credit card. We put every single expense on it. We pay it off to zero every month. But I have to know the date that they report to the credit agencies. Otherwise, my credit score will fluctuate drastically based on what they report, the balance. So yeah, you'd 100% have to know that. They need to teach this stuff in school. Why don't they teach this stuff in high school instead of putting? Well, never mind. Just teach this stuff in high school. Basic financial, information. My wife and I have an understanding. She has all the credit cards and spends all the money. I just make it. One time, the credit card company called me and asked me and told me that we had suspicious activity on the account. I said, that can't be possible. I lost the card. And they said that is a suspicious activity. There's no charges on the account. That was a terrible joke. I apologize. VPA versus 3Cs. The 3Cs is VPA. It's just a way to describe the VPA. I know you don't like anchored VWAP, but using them with your volume analysis in VA, I don't necessarily. I don't like using VWAP and those things as a primary mechanism for entry. That's it, because they're hit or miss. If you want to use them to kind of help identify a pattern with the VPA, by all means. But if you're making a decision purely off of VWAP and EMA, that's my problem. So if it works for you, if it gives you a value add, so be it. So, if they taught personal finance in high school, they wouldn't be able to fill colleges. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. You know, we had this conversation the other day with a group of friends. It's like, what if they made schools 4-day work weeks or four day weeks instead of 5 days? Get all the work done in 4 days, give the kid an extra day off. Parents would actually hate that because now they have to pay for a daycare because no one's at home anymore. They're all working, the mom and the dad. That's the whole spiral we're going down in society, is that our kids are forced to go to these publicly funded daycares, aka school, being indoctrinated and being taught a bunch of crap instead of, hey, why don't you just be home with the families? It's all nonsense. They're not teaching them nothing. They're not teaching them nothing. I'm big into credit card hacking. I have 6 cards and each has a purpose. Nice. Very cool, Ethan. Nice, Damien. Well done, buddy. I just took a big harvest last night on the tomatoes. It seems like the colors on Bookmap are getting deeper at this level. Do we see anything between Bookmap or the option skew? Well, right now, we have a little bit of put buying still. They haven't closed a lot of the puts. They've been fluctuating some down here, but the overall theme is heavy put buying. On the Bookmap, we have a lot of term structure down here to 64, 70, and 80. I don't know why I said term structure. That just sounds fancy, but it means nothing. I don't know why I said term. We have a lot of structure down here, 64.80 to 64.55. NASDAQ has big dog levels at 400. But even still, this is light liquidity, so I wouldn't really get too excited about this 400. That's small potatoes. It's the biggest on the book right now, but it's small potatoes. If that was 1,000, I'd be looking to play down to 400. But isn't heavy put technically put selling? Negative. It's put buying. Because I look at notional, not activity. That's why I focus on spot gamma. Who are the counterparties? I don't care. Doesn't matter. All I care about is the overall flow of notional. If I see negative delta pouring into put positions, that means that the general market in general is heavy bearish, downside positioning. I'm looking for that 23,400 plus so we can rock it back up. There you go. Share top 5 tips for us, jabronis. One of my districts, my metro area, does that. Use it to attract teachers to the district. Nice. I love me some credit cards. I have a card for Max Cash Bank for each category and use the cash back for miles and vacations. Yep. Every year we go to Vail, we have free flights. Next week we're flying to Florida for 3 days. Free flights. We're going to go Montana in a few months. Free flights. Every bit of it. I've got like 320,000 points on Southwest. I have, plus now I'm a preferred member, so I get free. My tickets are free, no points or nothing. The family uses points. It's great, dude. It's fantastic. Oh, I'm the flight socialist. Am I live every market open? I am, yes. Only live on YouTube Monday and Wednesday. I'm live every day in the Discord. I'm sorry, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now we're back to Fridays. I'm live every morning, Tuesdays, Thursdays included in the Discord, plus any events in the afternoon. Speaking of Montana, is there going to be a JabroniCon? Yes, not sure when though. I'm sitting on 250,000 United points right now trying to figure out what to use them on next year. Beautiful. Beautiful. Go to Ireland. Heck yeah, baby. Plus, when I was in New York for flight training, I stayed in a Homewood Suites for 7 months. And I put every bit of that on. I opened up a Hilton credit card, and I put every single charge of that on my Hilton card and accumulated hundreds of thousands of Hilton points. It was fantastic. Oh, man. Got to work the system, baby. You got to work the system. We need to have a personal finance class. my experience, cash back is king. It's hard to determine the value of points. Plus, you have to go through approved vendors, which are usually more expensive anyways. Yeah. One of the things I agree with about Dave Ramsey, though, is kind of what you're saying there, Don Quixote, is that he says that the credit card companies are smart. They're not just going to get blasted by giving you free points. So they're going to get their pound of flesh eventually, especially if you're reckless. So that's what you always have to realize. These credit card companies are leeches, and they will absolutely take everything you have if you let them. So yes, the points are nice, but I mean, heck, you miss your credit card payment twice, especially for someone who puts all your expenses on the credit card, boom, you've already paid more than what the points are worth. So you just got to get it, baby. Only one gabagoo per child. Yeah. For every person taking advantage of the points, there are 99 getting wrecked. Yep. Can you brief on this? While doing the trailing stops with market structure, do you use the wicks or just the open close? Well, when I'm looking for market structure that hasn't been dealt with yet, I'm going to look for any kind of major pivots, whether it be a top wick or bottom wick. So if I see multiple wicks at a particular area, then that's where I'm going to look for. So I guess wicks would be the short answer. Put every card on auto pay and sync their schedules so they all pay at the same time. There you go. When I put my expenses into my budget, all the credit card expenses, everything automatically gets deducted from my budget balance. So I know what my updated balance is after I pay everything. So you've got your bank balance. You go into your bank account, you see your balance, but that's not actually how much money you have because you have to net out your expenses. My budget takes my bank balance, it takes out all the expenses, including my credit card, and tells me exactly how much money I have if I were to liquidate all my debt. That way, there's no surprises. There's no surprises. I just pay everything off. That's how much money I have. I make sure I reconcile it and everything matches. Move on to the next month. They have to be intentional, baby. They make money for everything every time you swipe the card. Yep. What, 3% on every transaction? Be intentional with your money. Otherwise, the money will be intentional with you, and it won't be pretty. I was able to save a very large amount of money even before I was making good money. And there's a religious side to that too. You know, God's not going to bless you with a lot if you can't do anything with a little. Same thing in finance. You're not going to be able to do anything with a lot if you can't do anything with what you have with little. Same thing with prop firms. You could apply that to position sizing too. What makes you think you can manage 10 minis if you can't even manage one micro? Jabronis. I can attest to that. Something happened with my auto pay and cancels. I got hit with interest. Yep. Every day can't be good. The 10-15 3Cs trade had some insane bottom wicks on the 125 candle. The only real profit would have been from 464 to 498. Let's see. 1025. So right here, I mean, the 3C entry from here is roughly 462, 460, depending on where you entered. And then you would have stopped, depending on where you stopped out at, I mean, you could have got, 40, 50 points of profit. Well, now that's not bad on NASDAQ. So, in my opinion, right now, the only real 3C would have been great. The high confidence one was the 10-10 one. That's the one I took. The secondary one would have been nice too, but that one would have been a little more risky. So, but yes, you're absolutely right. Every day is not going to be a banger. The, in my opinion, the perfect example of a perfect 3C day was Wednesday. Wednesday, August 27th was absolutely perfect for 3C. Every single high volume 3C entry would have paid you beautifully. So every day can't be this good, and every day is not going to be perfect. So there are going to be days where you could take every single 3C entry is going to fail on you. That's just part of trading. There's not. I mean, that's just the way it is. So, and that's where you have to rely on your risk mitigation, your position sizing, all that kind of fun stuff. You know, all the fun stuff we talk about. Time to go water the garden. Nice Don Quixote. Go get those windmills, baby. I trade a different strat, looking to switch over and learn the 3Cs. Do you take trades live? I do, yes. I'm not a trade calling server, I will tell you that. But I do discuss my trades. I post recap videos. That's something new I started, posting recap videos that go over the whole trade process. And I post my strategy, I post signals when I have them, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not necessarily a trade calling server. I tried that, didn't work out so well. Looking forward to seeing you more. You too, Gavin. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for being here. A little bit of red coming on down. It's about ready to call it a day, though. I'm bored. I had some great conversation about some finance, though. I love it. I love it. I always have a hard time on days where the bottom wick seem relentless. Keeps on getting my stop loss and makes it difficult to stay in a trade. Well, that's where you have to rely on thesis. Trust the process. There are times where, I mean, when you set a stop loss too tight, you're doing two things. Two things. One, you're trading off your P&L because you're terrified of taking losses. Two, you're not trusting your system. When you take an entry, hopefully, when you hit the execute button and you place an active order to fill, and it actually fills, hopefully, that is your final confirmation that your system, that you have trust in your system. And when you immediately move your stop loss too tight, you're saying, I don't trust this. My system is not valuable. I'm trading off my P&L. I'm terrified. I'm greedy. I'm a jabroni. You know, whatever. I'm sad my dad beat me as a child. Whatever. So trust the process. Wait for volume, see it, execute, hands off. Hands off. How many ticks is a tight stop loss? It depends. Sometimes the market does demand a tight stop loss if it's a high risky situation. Whatever you decide, it just make sure it's based on structure and it's based on your process. Don't be one of those jabronis that sets a trade on, immediately sets a break-even stop loss the second you see your P&L flash green, because then you're trading off your P&L. You're not trading off a system. But the amount of relief I get, trust me, there are times I'll put on just one single contract, and I'll completely walk away from the computer. And I'll come back 2 hours later, and I'm up 80 points of profit. That's the best feeling. That right there to me is a better feeling than slinging 10 minis and getting a quick 10 points. Because I know that my process works. I have a process, and it worked. So. Try it. Try it sometime. Try it how? Open up, take one single micro contract, one micro. Create a thesis, take the trade, close the brokerage, and walk away from the chart for 2 hours. Don't look at anything for 2 hours. And then come back and see what happens. I bet you are a better trader than you think. It's just you are wrapped up in the mismanagement of your system. And that goes for everybody, not just you. That goes for everybody. I bet you're a better trader than you think, but you can't let that inner successful person shine because the jabroni's punching him in the face. Yeah, you of course put a stop on, of course. Don't just blind it. Anyway, I'll jump off my soapbox. I think I needed to hear that. Well, good. I believe in you, Hal. I believe in you. Soapbox is good. All your problems are caused by your own actions. If you can realize that, you can see how simple this game really is. Just buy the lows, sell the highs. And I'll prove it to you with this. I'll prove it to myself too, because I'm an idiot too. Look at this. At any point from here to here, you could have purchased one micro long and held it indefinitely, and you would be up because it's a macro bull market. That's all it is. But we get so fearful of the possibility of this, even though it never happens. Oh, sorry. No chart. We get so fearful of this, even though it never happens. At any point from here to here, you could have bought a long and held it, which was 4 months worth. But this terrifies us, even though it never, ever happens. So it's just put on the position, small, and take your hands off. It's good stuff, man. Anyway, y'all know the deal. We talked about it before. Sometimes getting too far in the weeds and need to step back and realize no one is watching my trades to screw me over, no matter how much it seemed this way. Yep, you're 100% right. Today's OM stream exit move will come from the tweet that no tariffs or gabagoo. Yeah. It's why I stopped or taken a break, because too many times whenever I did the opposite happened. Well, here's the thing, man. What time frame did it happen to you oppositely? Because maybe you did long the top of a 5-minute candle and it top weight back down, but maybe on the 30-minute scale you were still long in the bottom. It just, you had to let it build. So it really depends on the time frame and what you're looking to do. Am I going to do a trade review today? I guess I need to do a couple of trade reviews. I wasn't necessarily planning on today's. It's such a quick, small trade, but I guess I could. Whatever. I have to do one for my loss I took the other day, and I have to do one from Wednesday. A little off topic, but can you say something positive about flying, please? I haven't taken a trip since this plane issues this year. All of the crap I talked about has to do with regional and or corporate jet. So your national flights, Southwest, Air American Airlines, you're perfectly safe. There are so many redundancies to keep that crap from happening. You're perfectly safe. You're safer in an American. If you're safer in one of these jets, the big jets, than you are driving to the grocery store in your car, because there are tons of redundancies. There's tons of staff helping you. There's no way you can really forget something unless so many, like 15 things in a row, have to go wrong for something to happen. The corporate jets, like, if Best Buy hires a corporate jet to fly their staff around, that doesn't have the staff, the support staff. It's completely incumbent on the pilot. The pilot literally does everything. The pilot does the risk management. The pilot does the weather checks. The pilot does the clearances, the observations, the crew resource management, everything. And if that pilot has a bad day or is underslept or tired or, him and his wife got in a fight that day, you're at risk. Every single one of these flights are all like 10, 12-seater aircraft. The one I watched a couple of days ago, man, this pilot for a small company that was still worth a lot of money, 12 people aircraft, he took off in the middle of a snowstorm in Idaho. And to put it in frame of reference, the air traffic controller came online and said, dude, there's not a single aircraft in the air for a 400-mile radius. You're the only one wanting to fly. You're an idiot. Why? Like, literally, it was a snowstorm. Guess what? He took off. 37 seconds later, he killed him and his 12 people of his family. Grandfather, the brothers' kids, and the brothers' great-grandkids. Because this guy wanted to get home. He didn't want to drive. He wanted to get home. And he took off in the middle of a snowstorm. So it's stuff like that that you'll never see on a big airline. Anyway. Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. Hope he's not flying private. I used to have anxiety about flying many years ago and got completely over it. Then the news hit lately. I feel nervous again. Now you'll be fine. I would trust every single airline in in the United States. I wouldn't international. Meh. United States, you're safe. You have to realize you're like these aircrafts that you're flying on, Southwest, Delta, it's already completely autonomous. It's push button flying. These dudes are literally sitting there chilling. Whenever they approach an airline, or whenever they approach an airport, they'll punch in the numbers, the data, they'll hit enter, and that plane will fly the entire thing by itself. It'll land without the pilots touching the controls. Completely autonomous. Doesn't matter if there's completely fogged in airport that you can't even see nothing. That thing will fly blind all the way into the runway. Unless you're on the 737 MAX. My job has forced me to take trainings to stab people with needles in case they come to work cooked up. My boss straight face said, take the Maxilline and Narcan tests. That's crazy. Where do you work, dude? What about the new Max plane? They've sorted all that crap out. I was just joking about the 737 MAX. Amazon corporate. Will they ever have passenger drones? That's the future. The way it'll do, though, they'll test that out on FedEx and UPS. Whenever that does come, that will happen. They'll test it out on cargo planes like FedEx and UPS, and then if it goes like a couple of years of no instances, it'll transition over to manned aircraft. But even still, you'll have a pilot on board that'll monitor systems. It won't be just complete trust. Can't joke about the stuff with me, you believe me. Now you're safe. You're completely safe, GG7. Promise you. How does a test refund work when you take a payout with Take Profit? Um, you have to, I mean, once you pass the account using that code, they'll give you a credit for that with your payout. So you have to request the payout and then they'll apply it to your wallet. If you're familiar with the wallet process with TPT. All right, I'm going to call it a day. This is tight. It's crap. It's crap. NDA is scary. Predictions rest of the day? Man, I don't know. I don't want to tell y'all something to get y'all locked into a bias other than use the 3 C's, man. What's the cartel ETF? Yeah. Use the 3 C's. Do yourself a favor, zoom out and look for these major pivots. The obvious one is the weekly low on NASDAQ 23,370. That'll be the obvious one. Watch the option chain and stuff. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. I hope y'all have a good rest of the day. Do yourself a favor. Stay away from the charts. I don't want to see anybody in here on Monday trading the truncated futures open. Take the day off. Take the weekend off. Go enjoy yourself. Do something different. Go get some fitness in. That's my financial advice. Go do some fitness the next 3 days. Try to challenge yourself to do fitness the next 3 days. Go for a walk. Do some air squats. And yeah. The best software you had changed your methods in trading, Bookmap. Are you asking me which one's the best? If I had to choose between both of those, I'm choosing Bookmap, simply because I'm a believer in the order flow. So, all right, y'all, have a good rest of the day. I will see you all bright and early on Tuesday. I'm out. See you.